All right. What class are you going to play? We're playing Witch. We're playing Witch. We be going in with that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
This is Local, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a bunch of tips that you can use in Path of Exile 2 to have a better time, especially if you are a new player. This game is notoriously complex. The passive skill tree is overwhelming, itemization, skills, all of it. There is a lot to take in and digest, but I have a few
tips and tricks, guys,
tips that you may overlook that will give you a better time. Now, the first tip, and this is gonna sound so lame, but I promise you it is one of the most important things, is to just read stuff. If you find a new skill...
No! No! I don't read good.
Gem and don't know what it does.
I'm a Black Desert player.
Read what it does. Look at the little video that is provided. If you don't know what a certain modifier does, there's often these little dots underneath a modifier and you can click it to explain it. If you want to know what a passive does, read it. This sounds so stupid, but I promise you, like 90% of people don't do this. They won't read the whole thing. They might read like a little bit of it, not really.
What up, Scunters? Well, welcome in, buddy. It's a big day.
Really process it. There's no rush.
Guys, you guys don't have to read. Don't be concerned. I am your audiobook. That's why you guys watch my patch note rundown every week. Okay? Then you don't have to read it. You can just listen to it. Way easier.
If you want to have a good time, do this. I promise you.
I'm not joking when I say that my reading comprehension has got so much higher because I have to read stuff to you guys all the time. My reading out loud skills have just... I've leveled that skill up.
Subscribed for 3 months.
I'm almost max level.
Already reacted.
Wait, for 3 months, read? Hey! Of course I can read. I was a teacher. I was a biology teacher. We didn't read very much.
You will
pictures.
Become a better player than like 95% of other people. There are also resources out right now, little things of like the skill tree and skill gems, poeskills2.com, or I will link it in the description. You can start going through the gems, reading now, so you can get a little bit of a head start. So read, do your reading.
I'm not reading.
Next up is to identify your items before you sell them. So if you identify your rare items and your magic items before you sell them, you will get a larger amount of gold. And good news is that in PoE 2, we're going to have the Hooded One. This is an NPC you find very early on in Act 1. This guy will be your Decade Cane throughout Path of Exile 2. You can just take your items to him, click one button, and it will identify your items en masse. Then you can sell them, get more gold for it. But there's no point selling unidentified items. You're just going to be getting less gold for it, and you're going to be needing your gold because of the next thing, which is gambling. So PoE 2, there will be vendors that you can go to who you can gamble to get a good item. So there will be a whole lot of unidentified items that you can look at. You can buy it from them for a fairly hefty price, but this will give you a chance at a potential upgrade. You could get a...
Is the witch in PoE 1?
Rare item.
I don't think the witch is in PoE 1.
Even if you're very lucky,
there's like a necromancer
item of that base class. For this,
is it like completely different though, or does it play differently, or is it exactly the same?
Monomessa just gifted 1 sub.
Monomessa, thanks for the gifted sub. Appreciate you.
I don't want to give too many specific recommendations, but
I just left BDO. I don't need another gamble game. Well, in fairness, I don't think that all of PoE is gambling like BDO is. BDO, basically everything is an RNG, right? I don't think it's this way in PoE.
Say if you are struggling with damage and your weapon is bad, then try and gamble for a weapon that could be an upgrade for you. Also, another thing that could be really nice to gamble for are things like pieces of jewelry and boots. If you can get boots with increased movement speed, having that extra mobility to move around the battlefield, very nice defensive layer. But don't forget about gambling.
All right, get our Nikes.
Find some very nice upgrades. And then similarly to gambling, you can also get item upgrades from vendors. Vendors
is it playable now?
NPCs,
it is playable.
You find them in
it's being played by exactly 0 people.
Just gifted 2 subs.
Town. Some of them will sell
Bogaverted, thanks for the 2 gifters. I appreciate
like
you.
Armors
enjoy
and
your
weapons.
new drop, man.
Other ones will sell you caster items like wands, scepters, flasks, those kinds of things. So check your vendors. Every level, some of their stock will change. So if you're leveling up, you're struggling for upgrades.
Wait, really?
Check a vendor when you level up. You might.
So wait, the vendors sell you different things depending on what level you are? Oh my god. So I have to like re-talk to everyone all the time? That's insane. Mona Mesa, thanks for converting to a T1 sub. I do appreciate the extra contribution. Thank you so much.
Find a really nice upgrade if you're lucky. You can also go back to previous acts. Those vendors, their inventories will also change. So if you're looking for maybe a pair of boots, you're in Act 3, you haven't found a nice pair of boots, you can go, when you level up, check the vendors.
Gold's got at least the balls to come stream it though.
Check the vendors at Act 2, check the vendors at Act 1. Maybe you'll get a bit
There
lucky.
is PvP? Yeah, but let's be honest, we're not playing it for the PvP though.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now speaking about
It's unbalanced
jewelry,
as fuck.
this is a very big one to not overlook.
This class
Mona
looks sick.
Mesa just gifted 2 subs.
This is my second class for sure, guys. The warrior with like all these totems and shit. This looks badass as Momessa, thanks for the 2 gifters. Making sure they get those drops. Thank you so much.
Jewelry are your rings. You have 2 ring slots, you have an amulet, and you have a belt. Belt is also included in jewelry, but these slots are very nice for kind of rounding out your defenses. You can get resistances on your rings or attributes on your amulet, amongst a whole lot of other things. But I'm talking about these items have these implicit,
I'm totally fine with playing a male character after I finish simping for my first female character.
inherent mods on them. So check out for jewelry, a really good one if you're playing an attack-based build
Von
like
Secta
a
just
warrior or
resubscribed for 2
a
months.
mercenary.
Hey, Blue.
Early on, a small item.
Von Zecca, welcome back for 2 months. I'm really excited to see people coming back for multiple months in a row. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Just like a white normal rarity iron ring,
Monk is
can
the
go
best.
a
That's what Note's gonna play.
long way. So see if you can grab one of those. Maybe if you're lucky.
By the way, guys, we're starting a guild in PoE 2. So if you want to be a part of the guild, I'll max out the guild slots like immediately. If you want to be a part of a guild, it'll just run out of my Discord. You want to have people to play PoE 2 with. You want to do stuff in parties. You want to hang out. I know guilds are like not required in PoE or anything, but like it'll be fun. We'll have a fun community that you can play with and stuff and talk about the game with and stream and stuff.
Lucky event.
Graphs, thanks for the Prime sub, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
Vendor will be selling it.
I'd
But
love to be a part of it. Yeah, I'm gonna make it right away as soon as I can figure it out. Max out XD. Yeah, I'm gonna max it out right away, or at least the amount of people that can be in the guild. Yeah,
just a little bit of extra damage. Get your jewelry. That
6
will
people
help
parties,
you
yeah.
to cap those resistances.
like I'd
Although
like to make like a
apparently
really
in
big
PvP, we
PoE
won't really
like
have to
guild
cap our
community that we're all
resistances during
playing.
the campaign,
You know?
according to Vipo.
That way we can all attempt content together. I think it would be cool. How you doing, Drex?
But
Hi.
it'll help you just fill out all those slots. And then next, in terms of gear upgrades,
I'm gonna build
and
an
this
undead
is
army.
a big one.
I'm gonna build a simp
Don't
army.
be scared to use the
just
currency
also
that you
happen to be
find.
dead.
You're going to be finding these orbs on the ground, things like orbs of transmutation, augmentation, regal orbs, and exalted orbs. These are the items that will allow you to craft your items. They explain exactly what they do. I will have a basic crafting guide probably shortly after release, but don't be scared to use your crafting currency.
Does it matter what server I can
Initially,
pick? Let's back up for a minute before I answer that question. Are you picking a server right now?
Bokenverted just gifted 2 subs.
Are you logged in? Be honest with the rest of us. Are you in the game right now? Okay. You PoE 2 servers are only for your connection status. Okay. All right. We're about to ban that. Yeah, we're mods, get on him. I'm just
economy in Path of Exile is going to be complete mayhem. So hoarding stuff that you could instead use to
my
improve
download
the
just finished. I'm stuck in the login screen. Wim's like, don't shoot.
gear you have to progress further to get into the end game. If you
Yeah,
are
the
worried
drops are
about
on.
the economy, rather do it like that. If you need an upgrade, if your weapon is bad,
this looks so
and you
good.
have an orb of alchemy, try find a nice base, like a nice crossbow that looks good. Normal rarity, use your orb of alchemy on it. You might get a massive upgrade. At the same time though, don't be too flippant with your currency. What I would say is, if
So there's 2 types of currency in the game. Is that correct? This is like the in-game currency, like the gold. What's the what's like the pay to win money called? Well, it's not pay to win, but like what's the pay currency called?
if you're
In TNL it's Lucent, in BDO it's Pearls. Chaos / Divines. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, another update.
Is it time for some exiled content?
It is. Is that Audrey? That is Audrey. I love Audrey. We deployed the new database configuration and are working on getting everything back up and running. Our current time estimates you should have access to opening in the next half hour. Thanks again for your support. We'll continue for the updates. Okay, that's good. That means I can just focus on looking at this.
Struggling with something, let's say you're dying a bit too much or you're not dealing enough damage, then whip out your currency, see if you can get a new base and then craft on it. If you are doing fine, save your currency. You don't really need to use it right away, but there will be a point where you get to start dying more, not dealing enough damage against that boss. If you've been storing your currency, well, now you can use it on a new base. Maybe get a bit extra life or resistances, defenses, and damage. Don't be scared to use it. Same with your exalted orbs.
So does all the loot drop at the end of the particular dungeon you're doing, or does the loot drop from the mobs like proper and you can just equip stronger gear as you get the drop? I'm pretty sure it just drops from the mob, right? Individual mobs. Okay.
Exalted orbs in PoE 2 are much more common.
That way,
so
there's always that
if you have
expectancy.
a good item, something with, let's say, 4 really good mods, you don't have to be so scared to use that exalted orb on that fairly low level item. And the same thing with runes. PoE 2, we're getting runes. These are nice little socketables. Your items, some of them will have sockets in them. You can put a rune in them. They'll help you increase your damage or defenses in various ways. So again, don't be too scared to use it. Just be aware there's no way to take a rune out of an item once it's gone in, at least.
Is there an auction house?
Currently, so
I've never heard anyone talk about anything like an auction house where they're selling stuff to other players.
don't just throw in some
New PoE suite, we saw it.
rubbish, but
It was released last season.
use those runes to
Charo.
fill out your damage and defenses. Another fairly safe way to not screw up entirely is to just follow the recommended gems. You will be finding things called uncut skill gems and uncut support gems. When you use these, you will be welcome to a window called an engraving window. In there will be a whole lot of recommended gems based on weapon class. So check out those, see which ones are recommended.
Guys, if I have a really shitty piece of gear, you guys are the Path of Exile experts, so I have to ask you. If I have a really shitty piece of gear, should I put a rune in it? Or are runes rare? Should I not be putting runes in it unless it's like a Abyss item? Or does it matter? You just throw it in there.
Generally, these are all going to be safe choices that should serve
doing
you
great,
very
Charo.
well during the campaign, possibly even early
Runes
into
are a
the
new
end
item?
game.
Okay,
You're
well, we'll
feeling
figure it
very
out.
adventurous. Take a look. You can take any
Some are
gem
rare,
from
some
any
aren't.
weapon or class.
Well, for you guys, I will just throw the rarest rune into my reblath and it'll be okay, if you catch my drift.
You want and test it out.
Yeah,
but
we'll
if
learn
you're
later.
feeling worried about getting overwhelmed, just follow those recommended gems. You should be fine. And then next is to use your uncut gems to upgrade the level of your skill gems, especially for spells and a lot of attacks and things.
You play
the
hardcore?
level of
Once
your
I get the
gem
hang of the
will
game, sure.
dramatically improve your damage. If you have a very, very low gem, it's not really dealing much damage, try and upgrade it to a higher level with an uncut gem. It should be able to automatically push up the level of an existing gem to the level that it would be if you were to find it in that zone, if that makes sense. It's like a catch-up mechanic, so you'll be able to jump up your one skill from level 3 to level 5 or something. So use those, upgrade your gems, get more damage and defenses. And now a huge one, huge mistake that a lot of people make in Path of Exile 1, and they will make this in Path of Exile 2.
Bro, how crazy is it that every single cut of monsters and environment that you see looks completely unique? That is absolutely insane. When I played Diablo 3 back in the day, it felt like every level looked the same, basically. It was like everything looked the same, everything felt the same, all the mobs were basically the same. Like this, everything looks completely different. Everything looks like it has its own mechanics, and like you're battling certain terrain, you know, like.
Don't be one of these people.
Wild, dude.
Your life flask. This is going to be so important in Path of Exile 2.
What is
At
a
least
life
from what we've
flask?
seen, it looks like recovery. That is essentially getting back a resource like life or mana.
Okay.
But recovery is going to be fairly hard to come by. especially life recovery early on.
Your health potion,
A
okay.
good way to combat this early is to use a life flask. Now, as you progress, you will find life flasks that provide a higher amount of life recovery over time. So make sure you're upgrading your life flasks. You can buy new flasks from vendors. So go back, check every.
Okay, so is this the life flask here? It's just a health potion? That's all it is? And you just have to, you get these from vendors? And you have to upgrade them yourself, but then you can buy the bigger one. Once you update it the one time, you can buy the bigger ones from the vendors? It drops as well? Okay. Gotcha. Will the vendors sell you the really big ones without you having to craft it? Or is there like an alchemy skill you have to level up? I don't really know if there's life skill. I know there's a lot of crafting, but...
Very few levels. Make sure you're not using your level 1 flask when you're level
3 to 1 vendor upgrade in PoE, okay.
20 because it's effectively worthless. If you were to upgrade it, it's a massive defensive layer. So I say treat your flasks
No
with the
life
same
skills.
respect
Well,
you
it's a
treat
lot of crafting,
all other
so.
pieces of gear. If you
That's its
have any
own
respect
like
for
life
your
skill
weapon,
system on its own.
show some respect for your flasks. This is so important early on. Also make sure to
So when he says show respect to your flask, does he mean like hold your flask? What happens if you die? You just lose EXP? How much EXP are we talking about? Like 2% or like 20%? Logging into PoE2 now is like enhancing in BDO. It keeps failing. No, stop. No. I love you. Thanks, Sean Vlox. How you doing, buddy? Reminds me of Day 9's name. 10%. Oh my god, you lose 10% of your EXP? Okay, so do I need to use my flasks like liberally or conservatively? Like a stupid person or a smart person?
use your charms. Charms are a new thing in PoE2. These are almost like an automatic counter to certain ailments. So if you get frozen, you can have a charm
you're
that
half
says
HP,
when
use
you're
the flask.
frozen,
Okay.
charm is triggered and you will be unfrozen and immune to freeze for 3 seconds. So if you feel like you're getting
I'm sure I'm
frozen
going
a
to
lot,
figure it out.
look at some charms. They do consume charges similar to flasks, so if they don't
The
have
flasks
charges,
refill?
you won't be immune to that ailment. But
Wait, really? Okay, so you just have to buy one and then it refills as you kill mobs? Oh. Oh, that's nice. Does the flask weigh a bunch of weight, so you have to, like, forcing your character to buy weight from the Pearl Shop? No? Man, what's that like? That's fucking crazy. That's weird. Not predatory like that. That's insane.
don't forget about these. You can also get more charm slots on your belt, so keep a lookout for belt upgrades. And if you do have an abundance of
You have no weight? Yeah, but you're playing Tetris, though, with your inventory.
gold, you've gambled all your upgrades, you have really sick gear.
Basically,
what you
better
can do,
Destiny.
instead of selling
D2
your
has such
rare
potential.
items and magic items to vendors, you can instead disenchant them. This will give you currency shards, and a full stack of currency shards will give you a respective orb of that type. Also
Our
remember,
Pro Shop's 100% cosmetics. I don't really feel like that's... Can't you buy, like, inventory space from the shops and all of, like, the space for all your runes and all the other shit that you're gonna get?
Zuin
Right?
just gifted
So, like,
5 subs.
I wouldn't say it's just cosmetics, right? You gotta buy that other shit too. Zuin, thanks for the 5 gifters, man. I really appreciate you. Thanks so much for supporting my stream, man. Thank you, thank you. Don't you also have to build guild space as well?
Just
You have to buy, like,
for 6 months.
space for your
Hi,
guild.
How is it going?
remember you can salvage. So if you salvage items,
How's
with
the lock
quality,
leveling, my dude? I'm at level 27 right now. I haven't gotten to play the last couple of days, but I'm at it. I'm grinding. I have to do WC to get my staff because I had to skip it before because no one in the guild would do it with me. But I'm having a great time with it.
you can get back scraps
Excited
that
about
will improve the
PoE2? I
quality
am.
of items that you use it on. You can also salvage items with sockets to get artificers
Yeah, the dungeon and the barons.
shards. Full stack of these, full stack of 10 will give you an
Oh,
artificer.
I forgot to turn the Moobot off.
This is orb. This you can use to
It's right, 2 mana if you're 27. I'm not f***ing around with it. I'll do a full group.
add a socket onto a piece of gear. So if you have a really nice weapon, you want a socket on it, make sure that you're using the salvage bench to get those extra
Regarding
little bits
stash
and
tabs,
pieces.
they go on sale the 2 weekend after release and then every 3 weekends. So next sale is estimated to be on the 13th to 15th.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. So they will go on sale.
To form full orbs. Another big one is to complete your side quests and side bosses. PoE2, finishing these bosses, killing them, you'll often get really interesting rewards. You can get things like increases to spirit and attributes. I haven't seen all of them, but you'll be able to see these on the mini map. If you open up not the mini map, but like the map overlay, you'll be able to hover over a little zone and see, okay, if I kill the side boss in this area, he will drop me something that gives me plus 30 to spirit. So make sure you're doing these as you progress, especially if you feel like you're struggling. You can go back to previous acts, kill those bosses, get those upgrades, and then continue hopefully a little bit stronger. And then probably the number one tip is to just join a community or a Discord server.
Hey, that's us. Hey, wait, I'm running in a Discord. Wait, I'm running a community server.
Of Exile players, we might seem elitist, but in reality, that's really just a loud minority. Majority of PoE players...
Guys, I do hang out in my Discord. I hang out in the global channels so that you can always just come hang out with me on my days off.
Are really cool people.
While I'm working, like setting stuff up in the background, I'll just be sitting and voice.
They know how hard this game is, but at
Top
the same time,
players. There are top players in PoE. I need this.
Want you to join us. We really want people to love this game as much as we do. So a lot of Path of Exile players are actually incredibly helpful, very patient, and willing to sit down and teach. I've had so many people in my Discord community who have sat in Discord.
I think streamers should be allowed to log in first. I think plebs should not be allowed to enter. We are the plebs, so you've just contradicted yourself. Nah, I think that everybody on the level playing field is just fine.
Calls with new players for hours just to help them, teach them, get them up to speed, and get their builds working. So if you want, you can join my Discord server. It's linked in the description. Ask questions. Seriously, never ever start a question with, I'm sorry if this is a stupid question or this is a dumb question, but don't do that. Just ask. Just say, hey, I don't understand this thing. Can someone help me, please? I promise you there will be someone in there who is like jumping to help you, get you sorted out. If there's no one online for some reason, I will be live on Twitch. You can always come and ask me. So get involved with the community. I promise you, we're not as scary and elitist as you think. Most of us are actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it's not like the World of Warcraft community.
Lost. And this is actually the most important tip. That is to just have fun. Seriously, it's a game, man. If you're taking this too seriously, don't kill the fun for yourself. It's a game. If having fun means going as fast as you can, trying to rush to the end game, kill the bosses as quickly as possible, great, do it. But if fun for you is chilling with your friends, reading all the lore, getting immersed in the world of Path of Exile, don't let anyone make you feel bad for being, on day 3. Oh, wow, you're only level 14. What are you doing? That doesn't matter. If you're having fun and they're not, you're winning. So do what you need to have a good time. I'm going to be live tomorrow for the launch of Path of Exile 2. Link for my Twitch is in the description. There's also a written version of this guide over on Mobalytics that'll also be linked in the description. Links to my Patreon, Discord, all that, all down there. Let me know what you're planning to play on League Start for PoE 2. I am super excited. I'm going to be League Starting a Witch Hunter. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe. Take care. Catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bro, is anyone not playing Witch? Okay. Is anyone not playing Witch? Here's the link to the video, guys.